I think it's important for all of us to understand what goes on in farm country.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of the State of Soy. I'm Michaela Jordan, joined today by Amy Jennings, the Executive Director of Lee DSM, and Lee Tesdell, farmer and conservationist from the Slater area. And we're out on the farm today as the Greater Des Moines Leadership Institute is touring Lee's farm and the conservation practices that he has in action. We're gonna start at the beginning. Amy, tell us a little bit about the Greater Des Moines Leadership Institute.
Our parent organization is called Lee DSM, and essentially we are like a school for community leaders. And so our goal is that people go through our programs and then they are better leaders for our community. They make better decisions in the places that they influence. The Greater Des Moines Leadership Institute is one of our programs, and it helps people who are already somewhat engaged in the community as leaders and helps them take that to the next level. So those are the people who are really raising their hands to take on prominent leadership roles in our community.
What was the purpose of the visit to the farm today?
Each of our classes for the Greater Des Moines Leadership Institute focuses on a different topic. And one of our most recent classes focused on the natural capital, where we talked about water quality and water quantity. And so we had experts, including one from the Iowa Soybean Association, talking to our class members about farming and natural resources and things like that. And we wanted to come out to the farm in partnership with the Soybean Association so that we could show them what they had learned in that class.
Lee, the class had the opportunity to come see the different practices that are on your farm. Tell us a little bit about the different areas that we explored and what the class got to see.
So on my farm, we're trying to improve soil health and water quality basically, and try to become more resilient for climate change that we see coming. So we're doing some perennial cropping that includes alfalfa, kernza, and prairie strips. We're doing some infield practices like no-till in the fall and cover cropping. And then we're doing some of the edge-of-field practices, including saturated buffers and a bioreactor, and then the stream buffers. We like to be hopefully kind of an example in the neighborhood on this 80-acre farm that has been in my family for more than 100 years. I think it's important for all of us to understand what goes on in farm country, because most of Iowa, 23 million acres, I think, is farmed. But I think it's really important for city cousins to understand what their country cousins are doing, and vice versa, really, because we influence the water quality, we influence water quantity when there's flooding. We have some influence on that as well in the cities. So we need to understand each other and see what's going on out in the country, I think.
What other ways do you think that we could help show consumers and people with non-ag backgrounds what we're doing here on the farm to ensure agriculture is safe and that water and soil quality is improved?
We saw the great research that Iowa State's doing here on the saturated buffers. Gabe Johnson has 3 years of data out here on the saturated buffer system that we have and looking at water quality. We need to keep funding, I think, at the state level, federal level, more research. You know, I'm hoping that we'll find solutions to our water quality problems, whether it's cropping changes and or technology that we can put in place on farmland. We need to be very dedicated, I think, to improving our both soil health and water quality out here.
The partnership between Lee DSM and the Iowa Soybean Association is allowing consumers and decision makers to get involved and see what's happening out on the farm, both with conservation and agricultural practices. Thank you, Lee and Amy, for all your work to make tonight possible and all you do for Iowa's farmers. Reporting for this edition of the State of Soy, I'm Michaela Jordan.
My name is Charlie Brunker, and my wife and I and our kids run Precision Ag, try to be on the cutting edge every time we can. We turned on FMH, Precision Ag, crop insurance. We harnessed what we're already doing, and we'll never look back. Grandpa used to call a field, 100 acres, and now we're planting 90 of the 100 acres. Well, we're only paying for the 90 that we plant, and those details actually increased our APHs anywhere from 5 to 12% in the first year.